You're watching Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, and that was not good at all for the Baltimore Ravens. We'll break down the good and a lot more of the bad from a pretty disastrous finish in the end out of Baltimore. Before we get going on that front, though, if you support the Baltimore Ravens win, lose, and I guess ties as well, as un-American as they are, show me you do by liking today's video right now. NFL Week 6, the Ravens, I'll be honest, they blew it against the Giants. They lose, final score 24-20, even though if you only look at the box score, with Kenyan Drake going for 119, with Lamar Jackson throwing for more yards than Daniel Jones did, kind of think, you know what? They won the game. The Ravens had 211 rushing yards, and they lost by 4. And that's not okay against the Giants team that somehow, some way is 5-1 this year, which is kind of stunning from that standpoint there. Disappointment, though, is pretty palpable for the Ravens in a game that they really should have won, which is what four other teams say when they play the Giants. All right, some injury news and notes to get into here first and foremost. Morgan Moses, left heel bruise. Now, he is considered day-to-day, according to head coach John Harbaugh, but there have been enough injuries for this Ravens team over the years to make me wonder if there's more going on here. Now, many of you might be confused. Why was J.K. Dobbins not playing? Especially those of you on your fantasy team, like me. Knee tightness. If you felt that as a result of an apparently minor soft tissue injury, so it doesn't quite make sense. This is like the muscle above the knee, but whatever, I digress. Maybe it was the turf, because MetLife turf sucks. He didn't play in the second half. The knee tightness is why. In one of the few bright spots in this week's matchup, Kenyan Drake was awesome. And you know what? When you have a running back averaging 12 yards per carry, I don't know. Maybe you should have run the football more, Greg Roman. You threw it 32 times with Lamar Jackson, 6.6 yards per attempt. When you ran it 24 times, including J.K. Dobbins not playing well, they had 8.8. So I don't really know what they're doing. And Greg Roman loves run the football. Run the football. That was a run the football game in the second half. Drake is on fire. Lamar's running the football well. Yeah, they had some nice runs of 30 and 25. Your longest pass play was 19. Kind of feel like maybe you should have run the football more just from a pure efficiency standpoint. Some of my takeaways coming up here in just a moment. But first, what is your one-word reaction to the Ravens' performance against the Giants? I've got my one word coming up in a moment. But I want to hear from you guys first and foremost in the comments. It's the pinned comments on today's show. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. My one word, it's my first takeaway as well. Choke. That's what happened today. The Ravens choked. And what's most troubling, it's not the first time they've choked this year. Remember, they collapsed against Miami in week 2. 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They blew a 17-point lead against the Buffalo Bills in week 4. All the Ravens' losses this year, they should have won the football game. And in the end, they had a come-from-ahead loss. And I don't like that for this team. At minimum, shouldn't the Ravens have 5 wins? You should have beat the Dolphins. You know what? If you lose to the Bills, I get it. They're a great football team. They're playing the Chiefs right now, blah, blah, blah. But you got to close out football games if you're the Baltimore Ravens. And the fact that they've done this 3 times now, had a lead, had a multiple touchdown lead, and blew it. I think John Harbaugh's a great coach. That's got to get fixed because that's not acceptable in the NFL. Now, if you bet on this game like I did, you probably took the Ravens like I did. But that's okay. I've got a ton of leftover deposit money from our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over, chatsports.com/bet, and use promo code CHAT125. We put down at least $100. They're going to give you an extra $125 for free. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is CHAT125. My next takeaway, shocker, right? The Ravens missed their best receiver by a pretty good margin because it is very, very challenging in the modern-day NFL as good as your tight ends are in Baltimore, to have success when your top 3 receivers do this. Demarcus Robinson, 3 catches, 27 yards, and no touchdowns. Devin Duvernay, 1 for 14. Tylan Wallace, 1 for 4. Duvernay had 5 targets. Robinson had 5 targets. You're just not going to win games against good teams when your receivers combine for 5 catches and you throw it 32 times. That's not going to work. Go call Odell Beckham once he's healthy in November. Like, get more talent in here and make life a little bit easier on your quarterback, who we will get to at the end of today's show, make no mistake. Now, we have Ravens news, rumors, trades, free agency coverage, and so much more right here on our channel. Hit that big red button and subscribe at youtube.com/@RavensTV for free videos every single day. Let's talk number 3, and this is a positive note. Mark Andrews is so freaking good. 7 catches, 106 yards, 1 touchdown, 11 targets. Should he have maybe caught the one that was intercepted? Maybe it's a really tough play for your tight end to make. In the end, I blame it more on your quarterback putting him in a bad spot. But Andrews is a stud. And he is, imagine this offense without Mark Andrews. How would this passing game function? Isaiah Likely can make some nice plays for you. Josh Oliver's your number 4 leading receiver today. You are lucky Mark Andrews is playing at such a high level, and he's a big reason why the Ravens should have won this game. Note number 4. There's a lot of blame to go around. Your defense allowed 2 drives. You had 4 drives late in the game, right? 2 turnovers on offense, 2 scoring drives by your defense. The Marcus Peters, maybe questionable PI call. But I'm not mad at the defense. The defense allowed 238 yards today. That's supposed to win you a football game every single. They averaged 3.8 yards per play. The Ravens almost doubled them in yards per play in total yards. Time of possession in favor of the Giants, cool, whatever. 10 penalties versus 3 penalties. Huge difference there. 2 turnovers versus 1 turnover. So I know it says they allowed 24 points, but the turnovers really hurt you in that area. You know, they had a 10-play, 53-yard scoring drive. The Giants also had a field goal, 59-yard drive, 75-yard, 13-yard drive. The 13-yard drive is what killed you because you had the interception and a fumble when you were winning that football game, and then you fumble later, and then the Giants run off the clock, and they get a first down, whatever. Like, I don't blame the defense in the end. The defense can do better, but if I told you the Giants have 268 yards of offense, say, awesome, we won by 3 scores. And they didn't. So I want you guys to scale the Ravens' defensive effort for me. From 1 to 10. 1, we blame everything on the defense. 10, they were great. They should have won in every scenario. It's not a 10, but it ain't a 1 either. Sound off for me in the comment section. All right, number 5. Lamar's got to be better. And this is not always fair. Please see point number 2 about the receiving core. But in the end, you need your quarterback to do a lot for you. That's just the way that this is. You average 12.4 yards per completion, 6.6 in terms of attempts, 1 touchdown, 1 INT, a fumble, 77 yards on the ground, but you're only 53.1% through the air. Lamar did not play the way Lamar normally does. Bad snap and throws off balance, bad INT there, fumbles the ball late. Final 2 drives, quarterback turns it over twice. It's not all his fault. I am still a big-time Lamar Jackson fan. I've been a believer in him for a long time, always have. You can go back and look at our draft coverage. You need more out of Lamar Jackson. Now, that's not to say he elevates everybody on your roster, as I think we've seen with Aaron Rodgers, for example, not being able to. That's not how the NFL actually works. But you need your quarterback to do a better job than what he did today. It's a big reason why, among a litany of them, the Ravens choked against the Giants. So give me a name, a player, a coach, whatever. Who do you blame for this loss? Safe space to sound off for me right now in the comment section.